And away we go. Oh, sorry. Were you saying something, Chris?
No, I was saying that's great.
Let's have a show.
Great.
Let's have a show.
This is actually a show.
That's right. It would be a real show with real microphones that all work. And as far as I know, everyone is mostly sober. And welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lempa Champ or Lucky Track Dog League you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips, tricks, news and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing, and whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental. And thank you for coming back and listening to a Philadelphia episode of our podcast. We are recording this on December
5.
I don't know what that means. Okay. We are recording this on December 15th. And on this day in 1791, the first United States law school was established.
Wow.
The next year saw the first ever issuance of a life insurance policy. And in 1854, the first street cleaning machine was used. All of these events happened in Philadelphia.
Wow.
If you're driving a car, grab that E1R bingo card.
Yeah, I thought it was episode 215. That's why I yelled
It's
the
not.
area code. And then I looked up and said, 222. I have no idea what that's talking about. I better shut up.
All right.
I know what 215 was, though.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Pennsylvania people.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't.
I thought it was like another state highway that you guys all hate. In fact, I don't think you guys have a state highway you like.
We do have a 222, and it's okay. It goes.
Oh, we
from
do have a
nowhere to
222.
where-
Yeah,
222. Yeah,
It's not the worst.
222.
Yeah, it's okay.
Some places it's bad.
222. It's not 422. So it.
No. Okay, quick 222 story. 1999-ish in my turquoise turbocharged all-wheel drive Eagle Talon. I am driving home from Penn State Berks to my apartment down there, and I'm in the passing lane, and up behind me I see two headlights, and it's Ford signature, and one is up and one isn't, and I'm like, this Mustang is rolling on me. So I drop it from fifth to third, and I punch it like you wouldn't believe. And the MFer turns his lights on, and it's a cop car because whatever they were rolling back then, the LTDs or whatever, had a very similar signature to the Ford Mustang. And he pulls me over, and I'm like, oh, God. And he says, well, what are you doing out there? And I said, I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to race me. You had a headlight. I literally said, you had a headlight out, and I never saw a cop car with a headlight out. And he turned around, he looked at it, he walked back to the car, he swatted the headlight with his fucking, with his giant,
Stick?
like, I'll kill you.
Stick?
Flashlight, because it was
Yes.
dark out.
Mag
Yes.
light.
Whacked it really hard. It turned back on. He went, thanks. Keep it slower, man.
So it sounds like it was a Fox. It sounds like a Fox Body LTD because they both would have had the 4 eyes.
Yeah.
That's
it
funny.
was totally that. But anyway. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a 222 story. I didn't mean to digress.
Because turning on your blue lights after you're losing a drag race, that's just poor sportsmanship.
He totally rolled on me.
Well, Jeff.
While we've got you, Jeff, what else you working on?
I am now a fully licensed, operated, skilled, distant taillight repair tech. Yes. The lovely and talented Jennifer was
Way too
told
long
by
of a title.
I know. Was told by a car next door at a stoplight that she had only a third brake light. Both her left and right brake light bulbs were burnt out. I was at work until very late in the evening, and she went to the local flaps, and they said, we're not allowed to change light bulbs anymore. So she had the choice of ferrying Josh around to his band concert, which I was missing because I was working, in the Corvette on summer tires, very cold, or changing the light bulbs herself. So she got up on the old video conference call. I sent her a clip from someone on YouTube changing the light bulbs on the Subaru Forester 2015. And then I had to walk her through, she's like, oh, I need a big screwdriver. And she went and got a screwdriver, but it was rusty. So then she needed to go find my screw gun. And then she stripped a bolt. So then she needed a 10 millimeter. And each one of these was FaceTime. Which drawer is it? That one right there.
Do you realize You have infected your lovely bride with General Wakeman problems.
I do. I do. So yeah, but she changed them, and it was you had to actually like remove the taillight assembly. So she was able to remove both taillight assemblies, swap the bulbs, and get the taillight assemblies all clipped back in, and it was awesome. And both of us are very proud of her mechanical skills. And next time she says go fix something on the car, I'm going to be like, well, you're the badass tech now. You do it.
And she's going to hit you, and you're going to do it anyway.
Probably, yeah. That was it. That's really all. We were at PRI. I came home. I went to work. I don't know. Chris,
Cool.
what you working on? Did you do anything?
I did.
Yes.
I put the entire front suspension, or a entire front suspension, cobbled together back under the Civic so that the front end can roll, at least, to make it easier to get onto a trailer and stuff. The back end, still not, but I'm just going to put a hand truck under the back, and that's going to be good enough to roll that. Right now, it does very well with just the floor jack, because the back of a Civic, especially with nothing in it,
Don't weigh
anything. Right. So yeah, but like I wasn't putting in shocks and springs back in. It was just control arms and uprights and whatnot. So rather than just let the control arms sit up against the body, I zip tied blocks of wood to the upper control arms so that when they hit the body, it gives it a little more ride height. So, because it's easier to load on and off a trailer when it's a little higher up.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for working on stuff. Sunday we relaxed and took a nap and watched F1 and stuff.
And Chrissy cursed at the screen and threw stuff at it.
Yeah, pretty much. The
Sorry,
cat
I'm
ran
burning
away.
pod.
The cat ran away several times.
I try not to yell too much.
Nope.
There was a whole lot of the middle that I didn't yell.
Oh,
That's true.
The cat was sitting nicely, and then all of a sudden something happened. And nope.
So the cat thinks his name is goddamn Verstappen, or
No, I just say go,
What?
go, go. That's what happens here. There's
Michael,
no names.
no. Michael, no.
There's no names screamed.
About it. Didn't slam her headphones on the table or anything.
Good.
I did not.
No.
Mental.
That's what are you working on?
What are you up to?
So got in Sunday, and then immediately one of the Race FF podcasts, actually in the middle of the Lemons iRacing broadcast. So
Wow, that's
Oh.
a day.
we've been calling him Jamie, and I don't think he cares, but his name is actually Yami. So he actually goes with the Hispanic pronunciation of his
Yeah.
name. Really interesting, nice guy. Very much into the whole, like, just was surprised by the tribe of lemons. When he did that episode where he talked about the lemons wrap up, he was punchy because he hadn't slept in a while. But we just ended up having a long conversation about just culture and pride, and he hates gatekeeping. And
Clutch my pearls. Metzel had a long conversation.
yeah, no, so if you should listen to the Race FF podcast. It's a good one, but he is a dedicated front wheel drive, and I think that I've got I got at least him and his fiance coming out to the very university in. I'm sorry, yeah. Vicky's correcting my pronunciation behind me. Is Jaime.
Jaime. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's Jaime. It's not.
Jaime.
Yeah.
So
I
Yeah.
wasn't- if that's how he pronounces it, I wasn't going to correct you, but I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
Say he doesn't say
Anyway,
Jaime.
then-
That's cool. That is not out yet because I just listened to his latest podcast today. So
yes,
it's probably going to come out
Yeah,
later
we
in the
recorded it Sunday. I think it might be out tomorrow or next weekend. Knowing that we had rain coming in, Monday, I met up with a buddy who brought me my new knockoff Porsche GT3 seats that are going in my 928, and did the what we call our Red Rock Social. It's a car club we have here, and met up for dinner with my friend Chris Mills and his brand new fiance, Pena. Got engaged, took her for an instruction ride in a Ferrari 48, and then afterwards, one of her debrief items was, "Will you marry me?" So they got all that on film. So gearhead romantic.
Aw.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. And after we get done recording this, our buddy JP, John Polnick of Durf Has a Nation and Bid Nerds fame, is attempting an open mic comedy night with the other partner in that bad duo, Rami. So it's going to be, as he quotes it, a train wreck. Can't wait. So we're going to wrap up with this, and Vicky and I are going to head down to that and catch the last bit of that. My roof now is down to only really 2.5 places where it leaks, which is terrible But if you consider the percentage of improvement over what it was, I'm quite happy with that.
That's terrible.
And it was a legit full tilt flash flood rainstorm, and we just had a couple of drips, and I think I know what I got to do to fix it. So
two leaks in New Jersey is really bad.
Yeah, right.
2 leaks in Vegas. Well, I mean, whatever.
Twice a year. And
Needs more caulk.
Needs more caulk.
Always.
Absolutely.
Always needs more caulk.
We're watching stuff, and I hear,
Oh, you're like, are you knocking the dog's tail? You're like, stop it, Rika. Oh, she doesn't have a tail. Sorry.
So I get up, and I find where it is, and I put I put a bowl down, and I only got like this much water in the bowl. So I mean, it's for the volume of rain that we got, and that much of a leak, I'm feeling good.
Okay.
And that's where I am.
It's plenty. You've been busy in the last 4 days. What day is it? 3
Putting
days.
that at the end of the show.
Indeed.
Mental needs more caulk.
Yeah, mental needs more cock, or mental's cock leaks. But then when we get off, I'll tell you about my day at work today. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not much. I did a lot of the same things we talked about. I relaxed and unpacked. I did not help with the civic. I did stuff in the house, and Chris did stuff outside the house. We cleaned and unpacked, and then cooked, and we're finishing up some Christmas prep because next week is Christmas. That's it.
Is it? I was going to say, is it beginning to look a lot like Christmas?
I mean, there's a tree over there. But...
Everywhere you look.
My tree is up and lit, and my lights are on the outside of the house, but there's no ornaments on it yet. Like all the ornaments. But
same here.
Our tree's
same
up.
here.
Vicky hasn't lit it for the night yet, and I got to light our tree. We were out to one of the palm trees, and I'm going to try and get another one before Christmas. So news and notes news to some of our listeners, or to our listeners, Shout Engine, which is our current podcast hosting, is shutting down as of December 30th. We are looking for other host options, and we have to transfer, obviously, all of our shows. Now, ideally, this is going to be a transparent action to you, but, well, it's Everyone Racers podcast. So we're letting you know there might be some weird stuff that happens at the end of the month, but it's going to be a change. If you get this on iTunes, but if you go to Shout Engine to get our podcast, you won't be able to get that anymore. It'll still be on YouTube. And ideally, some of the options I'm looking at, or Jeff and I are looking at, will include a new website. So hopefully this will be an improvement across the board, because as we will talk about, we learned a few tricks this weekend.
Yeah, cool. I'm excited. We are hoping to also load all of the old episodes. So if you're like, oh no, I better go listen now to number 27 because we are going to get it there. Like I said, it just might not happen all at the same time. And it might live in 2 places at once for a little while. And we might have to tell you to like refresh your app on your phone because it's at a new place.
But the good thing about our listeners is they are actually very good about correcting, or at least enlightening us to technical problems without being jerks about it. Like, Mental's mic sucks.
Mental's mic's the only one that works this week.
Yeah. Or
Switch.
the episode is only 12 seconds long and consists of ski.
Thanks, Bill.
So we appreciate that.
All right. In other news and notes, we have to mention it. By the way, never mind. We're going to say that at the end. Max Verstappen, for now, is the Formula One champion. There might still be some court actions and things. We'll see what goes on. No big deal. I
bet the entire thing gets settled without a group of people storming Formula One headquarters and taking pictures in front of somebody's. I'm sorry. Should I have not gone there? Yeah,
that's fine. Lots of people are angry. Racing isn't fair. That's the way it is. But if you'd like a great article, in my humble opinion, and we are going to link this article, Hazel Southwell on The Drive did a really good article. I thought it was really unbiased. I think it's really a lot about the kerfuffle and about the inconsistency in Formula One. And I think the only thing consistent about Formula One stewardship is its inconsistency. And I'm just going to read a couple sentences here, and then we're going to go on. At the end of the article, she says Max is 11 years younger than Lewis, and whether he'll ever match Lewis's achievements, who knows, because no one thought that anyone would reach Michael Schumacher's numbers. No one ever thought someone would win 100 races. No one expected Lewis to have been competing for an 8th world title. Properly terrifying number when you think about only 34 people have ever been Formula One world champions. That's crazy. It seems really likely that Verstappen would have gotten there eventually. Same as it feels written that Hamilton will get his 8th title. Neither of them deserve to win or lose like this. And I think that is probably the most honest thing we can say is neither of them deserve to win or lose like this. Both of them had a fantastic season. Head, shoulders, waist, hips, and feet above the rest of the crowd. There were sometimes almost entire fields lapped. And that's amazing. And the fact that 2 drivers were able to put it together this year this way. Yeah. And now we will add our stupid opinions to the chorus. Here's mine.
Do you have screen sharing enabled?
I don't know, but I can do it in 1 second while I talk. Advanced screen sharing options. All participants can share.
I feel like the
Thank
person that lost on that podium is Sainz. Everybody's
Absolutely.
like, Max and Lewis, and then Sainz like, hey, I'm here. Hi.
Well,
I got third.
I got third. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that Hazel said in the article was that, the let only this amount of people through really screwed Sainz, because if they would have moved the other people, Sainz would have had a shot for maybe first or second also. So yeah there it is. I like that.
Yuki, he was right on Sainz's gearbox.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. I love that.
What would this world have come to? Oh, you didn't put Yuki on third in the podium at this championship race? Oh, come on.
For those of you watching, Mental has put up a meme. Is that Michael Massey? Because I've never seen what he looks like.
Yes.
All right.
Of course,
there
that's
you go.
and they had to dig out the vintage photo of Jay Lamb.
Yes, it's a very good one. All right, so here's my opinion. Right now, this is Hunt beating why am I forgetting? James
Lauda.
Hunt beating Niki Lauda. I don't think anybody in the world really thinks on level playing field this would have come out this way. I think they're both great racers, but this could be one and done. Hamilton is still the GOAT, and I love Max. And Max was a flaming a-hole driver for like 3 or 4 races. Not this one as much, but that's what he did to have to win, because I still believe the Mercedes vehicle is way dominant over the Red Bull. And without Max being that way, never would have happened. Go ahead, Mental.
Tyler predicted a Senna Prost type thing, because it would have absolutely been to Max's advantage to just crash Hamilton out. He would have been world champion.
I asked that. I was like, why aren't we doing that? Because everybody's already mad at, there is a pile of people, viewers, that are mad at Max anyway, just because of how he drove. So I had suggested that. I was surprised that didn't happen.
I just wanted to see more of Max driving like Checo did.
Checo.
Like
Checo was a legend.
Amazing.
The defense that Checo had on Lewis was clean, fair. Like they gave
back
each
and
other
forth.
room.
Somebody pulled out a little bit. It was they every time Checo made corners, it wasn't the let me go straight and then turn like Max did. This was like, I'm going to take the corner how I'm going. You're over there. I'm not going to hit you. Let's race. That's how Checo drove.
And the fact that Lewis didn't complain about it says a lot about, absolutely, everything Chris said.
And it's like the same battle that Lewis had with Alonso several races ago, where it took him several laps.
Yeah, Alonso put his elbows out like hard.
But it was, they left each other enough room. It was clean but tough racing, and that's good. Instead of this shit where I'm going to throw my car in at the apex and not turn until I'm all the way to the other side of the track. That's going to leave a lot of room for someone to race with me. That's fair. Yeah.
Well,
screw that.
Talk about people that got screwed.
Yeah.
Retire the car on the last lap.
Well, Checo, yeah.
Oh yeah. What happened?
The rumor is, what I've read is that his motor was dying, his internal combustion motor was dying, and they did not want anything to extend the yellow flag. So they
Yeah,
pulled
that
him.
makes sense. But he was in third, which is sucky because, right? That
Yeah.
would have helped and been nice for Checo, but it was like the nicest person.
We're not going to turn this into a Formula One podcast. But does anyone have any clue how we did on our Formula One, our fantasy league? Did anybody even look at that?
Yes.
As Chrissy picks up her vote.
Everybody
Sorry,
look at their
my
phones.
my mom's, I was in fourth. My
I know
mom
that
was texting.
Maximus Lexi won. We still don't know who this is, by the way. No
Dude,
clue.
we owe you a trophy, or lady, we owe you a trophy. Come on, get in here and talk to us.
Whoever it is.
No,
Yeah,
it's
whoever
Jim.
it is.
Jim's in third. I'm in fourth. I'm
Who's
thinking
in second? Who got second?
another boring BMW.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, I'm excited. I made up a place. I am 8th place.
That's great, Jeff.
Yay!
I was at the bottom of the frickin' field. I was
Eighth. You're
frickin'
like-
Williams
you're
for
like
the first
Ricardo.
half of the season.
Freaking Williams. No, you were Haas, actually.
Yeah,
I wasn't
Haas.
that bad.
I'm Haas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know who another boring BMW is. They were in third. Jim was in second. I dropped a place this race, and I came in fourth.
All right.
It's not Levison.
I don't know.
I thought it was Alex.
It could be.
Moving
Anyway,
on. By the
we're
way,
doing that again next
Mercedes-
year. We're
Mercedes
definitely
totally
gonna.
rules.
Yeah, their car was way better.
Facts.
Next year is going to be hard to do how do you pick in the league next year? It's like, who knows?
Yeah, who knows what the new
Yeah.
car is going to do?
Okay.
Anyway, other news and notes.
All right. So we're talking about PRI tonight, but in news that can relate to a lot of Midwest racers, Audubon Country Club was named Facility of the Year by PRI.
Oh,
You may have met Audubon's manager, Mike Ritter, working tech or timing at other Lemons rents around the country. And if you've met him or been to Audubon, you're not really surprised. Mike's got his act together. Their team is professional. It's dedicated. The track is great, and they deserve the award. So, hey, consider adding that to your list of tracks to visit. They've got Lemons, Grid Life, NASA, all the usual suspects. Just make sure you're not only running North Course, because that's sad. Find one that you're running full course.
Totally.
Fair.
all right, Chris, you got something? You're up.
Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. You saw us at PRI or heard us, you heard some of us on the podcast that we held in the Racing Junk booth, but you know how much we just love this page and the group that runs it. I was really excited to see on my daily email today that Racing Junk has an awesome variety of racing themes, gifts, teas, memorabilia, clocks, hats, ponies, and more. There's 20% off at Racing Junk until the 20th. Orders,
Holy crap. That's nice.
right? But orders received after tomorrow, which is today, if you're listening to it today. So make sure if you're Bill, you can buy it. But hopefully you're listening to it. They may not make it until Christmas. All Racing Junk gear is always free shipping, which is awesome. So you get 20% off and free shipping. So we previously talked about the fun racing shirt that says one man's junk is another man's race car. On Racing Junk, there is also great news in tech section, which with articles just about for everyone. They have some features of PRI, cool things that they saw at PRI, cool builds, fancy looking ladies. They do have clothes on, not much, but they have some clothes on. You should just check out the page. It's a great time, a great way to spend quality time, and it's better than your YouTube rabbit hole.
And on the ad that Chris put up on the 7th, within a week, we got a response. There was someone who would have been interested in the roll bar and then wanted to know what fuel cell setup you're running, and then offered us all seats. They're within 3 hours of CMP. They're going to be running a Honda CRX and Champ CMP and Lucky Dog. And so
We made a friend. We might not have made a sale, but we made a friend.
Exactly. So, but that's just the exposure. Is someone said, "Oh, I'm looking to run these events, and if you guys want a seat, or you know somebody who does, I'm not trying to make any money. I'm just trying to get the money back out of it, tires and gas." But that's the kind of exposure if you're looking to sell something. RacingJunk.com.
Upcoming races.
Champ Cars concluding their 2021 season with the Bell Racing Sebring 7 at, you guessed it, Sebring. 103 cars. 22 of those cars are BMWs. And for the last time in 2021, here with us, listeners in your car, say it with us, BMWs are
so
boring.
They're also 26 Miatas, 6 Hondas, 7 Porsches, and while we wish everyone luck, we're going to be pulling for that number 969 Honda Accord from Team Fat Crack. Sebring's not only their home track, it is literally where that entire group met. Their dads all met back in the 70s and they grew up friends. So hopefully they're going to do well. They're just a great group of good folks.
Recent results.
Jam car was at Barber this weekend. Saturday, a boring E36 one. That's it. Sunday, GMS racing in it won in an RX-7. The second next people back were the Cone Crushers in a 944, and then Bissell Racing also in a 944. Their other highlights: Volvo 240 wagon was mid pack, and the Nova was 19th on Saturday, and DNF on Sunday. And there were 47 of those 67 cars started.
Nice. Yeah, we all know it. Team Lemon's Kim Harmon Scrodium 500 was at Road Atlanta, and it was beautiful weather, and there's no reason not to go to Road Atlanta.
Always.
And all the drivers
in
drove perfectly fine, and they didn't have to black flag to yell at them all, except for that one time when they black flagged and yelled at them all.
Because the weather was bad and they were all driving.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it was fog filled, and there was several black flags throughout the weekend, including, I think they closed the testing day, right? For a couple of hours.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the winner was the Ginger Race Team in 771. B-class winner, our friends at the Squirtin' Coronas. Class C was, I shit you not, SCHITTUKNOT.
Does it really matter?
That's the team name.
Does it matter how it's spelled?
I'm just saying.
He's not cursing. It's not spelled that way.
Fuji's.
Scrappy Yard Fuji.
National effing champion Bishes.
Literally. That's a shout out to the Inglorious Bastards, ran with Parked, Sorry for Party, Three Pedal Mafia, the League of Legitimate Nigerian Businessmen. Who else were we missing that helped us? Gordon Coronas, actually.
They never
somebody today.
Okay.
Who's Donnie's team? What's their did we say Donnie's team?
Oh, Fail Inc. Yeah.
Fail Inc. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, we all registered under the same damn name all year, all across the nation, and completely dominated the national effing championship. And we, of course, our team name was the Gang Ruins the national championship.
For a little while, we were close to not winning. So
why you ruined
the Ginger Race Team was almost unbeatable, and we had to fake the rules to beat them.
9 cars in Texas
and a bunch of newbies because they were bringing in newbies and getting the newbie points. But luckily, Corey also always builds like 17 cars for every race he goes to. So
Ginger Race Team, suck it, we beat you, and feel free to.
Which, by the way, talk to him about that. He thinks it's funny.
Yeah. Feel free to have it next year, because we're not doing this again. We're going back to the Three Pedal Mafia.
It's only funny once.
It's only funny once.
It was also so very confusing every time at different races where they're like, where's your car? Like somebody's watching a race monitor. They're like, what number is which car? Because there's 8 of them on here, especially when in East Coast when we had multiple teams around.
People know we're not Randy Bish, so they don't expect his car and our car to be on the same team name.
Yes, but they would like to know which one's actually us.
Yeah. So anyway, we're back to the Three Pedal Mafia next year. Let's keep going. Org choice was the Duff Beer Civic. Love those guys. Love their beer. Heroic Fix.
It's not a Civic anymore. They haven't had a Civic in years.
Oh.
Okay. No, it was the Civic. So I pulled that off the page. That is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a new Civic.
All right.
Heroic Fix was Zip Tied Racing. Judge's choice went to Team Beam Dream Team. Very like Susian team name there. IOE was 8 Hicks in the 322 Chevy Malibu we saw at New Hampshire Motorsports.
There are also like 4 different regionals, but I didn't want to bring them in there. So
that's all right. We gave them Motorsport.
Cool.
Oh, listener feedback time.
Real world feedback in our live from the Airbnb episode. Mrs. Mental said specifically Mental was too mean to Jeff.
I don't even remember him being mean to me, so it could have been too mean.
You said she said it was when he said he was doing something, and you said, but you're doing it wrong. That's mean.
Well, Vicky, you can't hear me, but it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, well.
My wife also gave some live listener feedback because she tuned into the Facebook and got like the last third, and she was like, the closing credits really need to be organized better. And I say, usually they are. I was drunk. So, I couldn't read my copy. I was a little bit twisted.
But Vicky
Been there,
did say
done that.
that we've gotten better at these. So I mean,
Specifically in regards to being drunk and reading our copy.
Oh.
Staying on topic, not just randos walking in costume and shouting obscenities.
Wait,
We
it's
don't
funny,
do drunk episodes
not
much.
that there's anything wrong with that.
because we totally had a rando at the racing junk booth
Oh yeah.
Yes.
who
yes,
shouted out something about sand drags, and we were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, man." Anyway, on other,
Nice fellow. Got a hold of
Yeah,
us on
seemed cool.
Facebook Messenger. So, and he said it's another bargain form of racing. So if that's something that interests you, go for it.
cool. We know nothing about it, or else we would cover it too. On other news, not about our randomly drunk episode, on the YouTubes or Facebook, I don't remember where I put it. Instas. I've been putting stuff so from many places. Mental talked about the electric
That's what
El
she said.
Camino, and Tim Burr was like, "Hell no, man! That thing would be dope."
On the travel picture that Jeff posted, which I was promptly asleep next to Chris, that you couldn't see me on there. Adam Lewis noticed that the old dude in the next row back was looking mad at his wife that he that didn't get held up by the TSA.
Yeah, he looked.
Which
a little-
that forces you to go back and look at the picture, and he's totally right. The guy
He's totally
sitting
right.
behind-
I opened it
guy
too. I
sitting
was like,
behind Chris, and Chris like, oh, that dude does look mad. Yeah. What do you mean you're not going to cavity search her? Crap, she's going to make the flight now.
Yeah. On other news, the seat next to me actually did end up staying empty, but only because the guy who showed up to get the seat next to me got bumped to first class. So,
You,
yeah, if they came back,
you were
I did.
an option.
I was like,
You're
I was
no,
like,
my friends are here.
Chrissy was asleep. Otherwise,
was
would be
out.
down to it. Right.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could have left. I would have been like, cool. I got a free seat.
The stewardess came back to the back and was like, we have one open in first class. And I looked at the dude next to me and he was alone. I was like, he was giant too. He was like 6'7" and like 8 feet across. I was like, dude, go, take it. So he was happy and I was happy because then I got the seat next to me open.
It was also a short flight, so for us,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
it's
we
I
shouldn't.
slept the whole way.
Yeah, me too.
All right, what else we got?
Chris.
Oh,
Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why I missed that one. Ashley Doyle was disappointed. I missed y'all's live last night. I went to the Stars concert at World Cafe Live in Philly and with my brother last night. Hope it went well. Safe travels.
I didn't realize Ashley was from the Philly area.
Now we know.
And Bearded Sim Racer, aka Ryan Bauer, said, hello, friends. Congratulations on the win at the airport, which is totally not true because I got my bag first. I won that one.
Nice.
oh, that's fine. We got a win that the line was basically out in the parking lot.
Yeah, Mental. I don't know what it was
Oh,
like when
yeah.
you showed up for the airport, but the
right.
TSA
And
line
they need to
was
go home. Yeah.
so gosh darn long.
I literally, because I've got my pre-check and my clear, there was no one in front of me. I was the only person who went through that. And,
Was there anybody in the Gen Pop line?
it wasn't that bad.
Oh,
It
oh
was
my God.
ours came out from the sides and went up the middle more than halfway.
Because
So
you
the-
knew
No, it
everybody
went
was going to be leaving PRI trying to get home. Yeah,
I
trying to beat that
guess.
storm.
It wrapped
It was-
around to
Oh, yeah.
like the bathrooms, which are down the hall, like this. And
Oh, yeah.
actually, at some point, it reached the
Well,
line to check
the-
your bag was that
Yes,
long.
the American line backed up so far they were kind of overlapping.
Oh, yeah, it's because
And-
it's the American line. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
it went
we-
all the way like to the door of the airport. Like it was crazy.
I went down to the coffee shop, had a great little breakfast, met a lovely lady who my Uber driver to the airport, got there so early. I was the only person at Southwest, wandered through, took a couple pictures of the cool race cars. Indy Airport, by the way, yet like everything in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
surprisingly
Indy cars
great.
everywhere. Yeah.
And yeah,
Mhm.
it well laid out and smart and bright and happy and open and
Not on
Uh,
that Sunday morning. It was
out of
not.
that.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No, and-
yeah,
yeah.
so then found a bar and had a couple beers and yeah, it was great. I had a
Yeah, early
Okay,
just
okay.
tip, pre-check.
Yeah.
Pay your $80.
TSA pre without a doubt.
just get your
It is
pre-check.
amazing.
Now,
Yes.
now I'm gonna take it. We're gonna take a poll here. Mental, do you know how much your Uber costs? Don't say the number to the airport.
Yes, actually, now I do. Yes.
Do you think our Uber was less, same, more, double, or triple what you paid?
I'm going to go with more, but I don't think it was quite double because if that many people go to the airport, they were doing surgery.
How much did you pay for your Uber?
With a 20% tip, it was $36.
Oh my God. That's
Chris, how much
amazing.
did we pay? 86, right?
No, less.
The
Because
first one
yours
was 86.
Mine was 86.
Ours was 56 plus the tip because it turns out very few Lyft and Uber drivers are awake at
4 in the morning.
4:48 a.m. on a Sunday.
He was like, "Oh, it says,
So we had to go.
we'll get one soon," and then they're like, "Well,
Nope.
nobody's
And then
accepted the ride."
the best I could do. We had to go Lux Black and a Q7. But
okay. So at least you got what you paid for. I was
because I
was
went
actually able to schedule it as soon as I sat down to lunch. I scheduled it to come get me at like noon. So I scheduled my Uber an hour out, which is a new feature.
Chris, you did Uber Black, but I was on the Lyft app, and mine.
I was vice versa. I was on Lyft, you were on Uber.
I was
you guys
on
couldn't
Uber.
all go in one vehicle?
No.
we
We were doing competing apps because
We were looking for
right
we were one step away from taxis because we were going to be late, and of course now we know what the airport actually looked like if we didn't leave at that hour.
Yeah, you'd have screwed. Yeah.
I mean, there were people that were just absolutely screwed. We were watching people. There was this is not even funny. The flight next to us, we were like 1, 2 more, 3 more. Everybody's running.
After the door was closed,
plane's gone.
13 people showed up to the gate after the door was closed.
Yep. Yeah,
and they were all like sweaty and frustrated.
Yep. People that have shoes on. Like, is that a hippie, or did he just not get it?
Hippie,
did he get out
did
of
he run from TSA so fast he didn't put his shoes on?
So so like Chris said, $80. It's 5 years. $80. Yeah.
The first time you use it, you will say that was an $80 well spent.
Yeah, I absolutely said that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So speaking of sweaty and miserable and unhappy and not wearing shoes, Jeff?
I am not wearing shoes. Update on the Survive the 25. I did not count my calories, and I drank a little while I was in Indianapolis.
Diet Coke.
Like Diet Coke with rum in it. Calories. We did walk a lot.
We pushed freaking scooters.
I have
pushed those damn scooters.
Yeah. I have not done a weigh-in since I lost 6 pounds. I'm almost done my first book. And I went hardcore on the workouts this week. So both Monday and Wednesday, which is 2 of my first workout days, I completed the movie that I have never seen before, Talladega Nights. What a fucking funny movie. And I worked my ass out because I was laughing so hard. So watch a funny movie while working out. It helps.
And I had this in there. I think we kind of butchered it, but I wanted to point out that it was Chrissy's read-in that Jeff did get his steps in this weekend. Chrissy and Chris made sure we were quite taken care of. We ate well and we ate healthy. And a couple of times, because I had to go through Jeff's bedroom to get to the bathroom, Jeff every night fell asleep reading his Carol Smith book.
Yeah.
Not anything wrong with Carol Smith's book. Just we had long days every day.
Yeah. And we were drinking.
Yeah. No, but that's how I do it. I read when I fall asleep. But
hello, Jen.
They're saying hi to you, Jen. She's waving. She's in the middle of doing all of her grades. So this is
so she's happy.
So fun.
She's very happy. She's upset that I'm in the office at all because she would probably be here grading. Anyway, that is the Survive the 25. Still doing well.
Yes.
You need to do more. You need to get on the sim or something because you're not even on the leaderboard when he posts it. Like you're way behind and you can still come from behind, but you still need to like do enough that you can
Jeff,
get some more points.
This isn't fantasy Formula 1. Being last isn't good.
but I'm losing the weight.
You have additional listeners that are not even in like the contest with the podcasters and they're beating you.
They're disappointed.
I'm just
speaking of losing weight. When I got home Sunday night, I had a box waiting on me, and the return address said Chrissy's mom. As I opened it, my loving bride said, "There are snickerdoodles in there. I'm taking one."
There were snickerdoodles,
and you know who always has snickerdoodles?
It's true. That is a common staple around here. Snickerdoodle bars, snickerdoodle cookies, all underdone. Because they're Chris's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris likes
she responds to requests very nicely to underdo them, and they're so good that way.
Sometimes
Vicky-
she's like, "That's so gross," and she just hands it to Chris, and he's like, "This is not bad."
Oh, no, it was, because Vicky took her one cookie and went, "That is so good." So
Well, thanks, Chrissy's mom, for not helping me during the Survive the 25 because I also ate some too. So
yeah,
she's going to apologize because she doesn't like,
fine.
and she knew that. She was upset. She was like, "I can't send them." She's like, "But then I have to send them." So
yeah, it's fine.
we
It's
had
fine.
this conversation. Eat one. It's not a big deal.
Main topic time. PRI. PRI.
Yeah.
This is the in-depth episode of PRI. Of course, you
sober
know we've said
The
it a
sober
1,000
one,
times.
yes.
Sober one. We went to the Performance Racing Industry Show in Indianapolis. Blah blah blah. We've already talked about it, but now we're going to talk about the ed sessions and the booths and all the things we learned and all the people we met and all those kinds of fun things. For those of you who don't know, we should probably mention there's a lot of education that goes on during these, both SEMA and PRI. I liked the SEMA sessions a little better. I would say I think they had more, but these were great, and I got a lot out of all of them. And I forced all of my podcast hosts to go to the one that they were like, "What the hell are we doing here?" And I was totally nerding out. And
You
that
were
was
so nerding out.
so nerding out. And that was Gavin Knapp. It is the PRI Director of Marketing Research, and he did a market research session. And when COVID hit, PRI started surveying track owners, manufacturers, and sellers of race equipment, and was basically trying to figure out, like, are they going to survive the pandemic? How are they doing? What is the state of the industry? And basically, he had a lot of numbers and a lot of things, and he talked about the methods, and I was totally nerd because I'm an assessment guy. And basically, the state of the industry is that we've rebounded really well. It seems that they're talking about everybody bought race parts during the pandemic. The race tracks opened before a lot of other, entertainment venues opened, because concerts weren't happening, but races happen outdoors. So they opened early, and everybody had built cars, and everybody had bought stuff, and everybody had, before the shipping went haywire, got a lot of race parts and wrenched their asses off. So yeah, that's what we learned. We also learned about the different segments of the industry, how many tracks do what kind of thing, and how many racers do what kind of thing. It's all based on surveys, which I think left a little bit to be desired, because only those who responded to the survey got counted. So all of those drag strips that we know got closed recently, they didn't respond. So there was no, I'm on the balls of my ass, or I've already sold my racetrack, because they weren't in business and nobody's in the office after you close. So yeah, it was very cool. We know that a lot of the market is drag and circle track in America. And yeah, that's what it is. Everybody's doing great unless you're closed.
Also, road racing was the lowest when they listed all of the categories of the racing that is.
You're taking other people's stuff.
It wasn't the lowest.
No.
There was some lower ones,
Tractor
like ice
pulls,
racing, tractor pulls. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
right. Maritime. I was like, what does that word even say? Because we sat in the very back corner.
Yeah, it seems a lot of the uber redneck stuff, like the tractor pulls, and there was something else that was really country. I don't remember what it was, but that also was like basically decimated.
Motorized hog wrestling.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And that is in contrast kind of to Rob Knox that we sat with on that panel, because I think you're more
Diesel bros, right? Diesel.
Exactly, because I mean, and he even said, look, my demographic is a group of Midwestern rednecks, but they are highly intelligent folks, because tuning a diesel engine for maximum torque and mud drags and the things that they do requires a lot of brains and calculations that just, if every now and again you got to stop and spit while you're in the middle of it, that doesn't make you any dumber. So I think within that realm, anything that's,
I'm spitting my chew.
Anything it just sounds like you're farting.
I'm not.
Ew.
It's anything that sounds or that requires a lot of technical skill was growing.
Yeah. All right. Who went to a session? Shoot.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right,
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to go. I went to a pageant break session. The presenter was quite dry.
I
But-
went to the session too and fell asleep in the middle.
He was
You
quite
saw,
dry.
you fell
but-
asleep in every one.
Oh, that's true.
I
Almost.
think you did.
This guy was really knowledgeable, and I took a lot of notes, and I'm not going to talk about everything he said because we're going to have an entire episode in the future about breaks and things that I learned. But I've been doing this long enough. I learned several kind of important things that you should know, and you will if you listen to our break episode later.
I was awake enough to learn some of the stuff, but in the middle, I got lost. I was like, I'm gone. This
Nope.
is beyond me.
You're really good at doing like and you had your hat so you could kind of like, you like fall asleep at like
For those of you not watching on YouTube,
sorry.
Chrissy is pretending to fall asleep very slowly.
Yeah, but you just kind of like put your head to the side and kind of down a little bit. And then you like, so you have to see like, well, are your eyes open? Whatever.
I'm squinty.
That was a
You're
routine bet. Is Jeff asleep,
Uh-huh.
text or TikToking,
Uh-huh.
or
TikToking, a
bored?
lot of TikToking.
Uh-huh. That might have happened. Except some of the places we were, the cell reception was the worst. Okay. So Mitchell and I went to a Facebook one. We only stayed for half the time. It was absolutely packed. There were people, every seat was filled. This was in the last one where we were, with the panel,
I should say that it was a session it wasn't like
it was 2021 Facebook. What is this fit with a lot of stats and what to do with Facebook. Sorry about that.
got it. Like for like manufacturers, like what were they trying to tell?
Everything. It was what are the best practices? What could you do? What should you do? Best practices. Yes,
Got it.
I apologize. Yes, we only stayed for half. We didn't learn a whole lot of stuff, but we learned that is not going away, and it is actually on the rise for anyone 30 and up, which is all of you. All of our listeners.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, all the young people say, "Oh, I'm not even on Facebook," and her thing was, "And here's the numbers." It says, "You're a liar." Because
Right.
they are. Everyone's on Facebook.
So we left right at where the stats ended, which is all interesting things, but it says it's not going away anytime soon, and they keep making changes, and people keep showing up.
Except for Chris.
I was
Chris
just
is
going
not
to
on
say that.
Facebook.
You can't
Yep.
sell Chris nothing.
That's fine. So there are a few people, everybody's got one friend that's not on Facebook, and they have no idea what's going on in the world, like Chris. So we went to that.
I
left.
think my life is better for it, actually.
I agree with you.
I'm sure.
Mhm.
Yes. Anyway, we also went to a Women in Motorsports. There's a panel of 5 very diverse women from different aspects of motorsports. A lot of talk about how to get actually noticed if you want to be a racer or get a job in a male dominated industry. And really the ultimate answer is be an engineer, because that seems to help you a whole lot. So
Yeah.
it was good to know them.
I want to briefly jump on that and say that I went to the social media influencer session
Yes,
that was
right, you
about
did.
and that really became, I think the Women in Motorsports panel was women who were employed by motorsports. And then I think the social influencer one almost became like women racers who are using social media, because 3 out of the 5 people were women in motorsports, like amateur women in motorsports. The 4th one was a market research person who talked about what they did, but actually was not a social influencer. Only one of them was a social influencer who was male. So that became like the other side of women in motorsports.
They weren't the same girl. Well, only one, Colette would have been appropriate in that other one, I think.
Yeah. It really became like, I got my sponsors and I'm not a professional. I have a day job and I use social media to boost my race team.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was good too. I think there was actually a lot of women representation at the I don't mean like humans at the conference. There was a lot of focus on women. I think were on a lot of the panels.
Yep.
They were,
But yes, well represented in that fashion. Not a whole lot of women at the conference, and if they were tag-alongs, it seemed. But There were more men around.
Attendees wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, booth babes. There's booth babes too.
It's not that many booth babes.
There were so few that their presence was conspicuous.
Okay.
Yes.
And not necessarily
Right.
not necessarily well received. I don't think, I mean, people are like, I get why you're doing it, but really you're distracting from what.
Well,
we're
and
here
half of them
for.
were wearing coats, so you were just like, "Are you just wearing a Santa costume, or are you are you sitting here for a reason?" Not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I think a decent amount of the booth babes were not models. They were like social media influencers who happen to be women who happen to be racers.
Or like when we were at the gear places, they were salespeople.
They're salespeople.
You know,
Absolutely.
They're like, yeah. I'm not here to look pretty. I'm here. Hey, why don't I try this helmet on for you? You know, it would look good with that. These shoes, take this. And they're just, doing their job, which is sell things.
Yeah. Anyway, Mental, I know you got stuff.
Oh, sorry, I scrolled down on that one. So I think I was trying to get you guys to come. Y'all weren't interested, so I went to the Grid Life thing. And Jeff, I think Chrissy went with me, and Jeff
Yeah, I
stuck
did.
in later. And I, having been involved with Grid Life for a while, I did not realize they've actually kind of got a long history now. And what's really great is they had a question and answer session, and it was a pretty full panel. In the question and answer session is Chris and Adam, who are the two primaries, and we're calling on these folks by name. And what I really like about Grid Life is it's very similar to what we like about racing, and it's the sense of community. They definitely have a tribe there, and they've expanded. They've got the Grid Life Touring Cup, Grid Life Trophy Cup. And now a lot of their rules are leaning towards getting away from slicks and getting more into 200 treadwear tires. And a lot of the modifications were to allow for parts that just aren't available anymore. And they are actively taking steps to keep access to their particular track things affordable. So they'll still do the Time Attack. They're still going to do the Fit Cup, and they're still going to do the Grid Life Touring Cup. They'll still do HPDE, and in tracks where they're supposed to, they're going to have the music festivals. But they are all about still trying to keep it entry level, accessible, fun, and attractive to people who may not have any other exposure to motorsports. And they were showing some of their clips from drifting. So they've revised their logo. They're taking some serious marketing steps. I'm looking forward to, hopefully I can get this written down and publicize this. But in the meantime, check out Grid Life and look and see if they've got any events coming near you. We're this close. I'm this close to convincing my co-host to go to the one that they're going to do at Lime Rock.
No, I'm convinced. So.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
They basically said they're trying. We put this in the social media already. I think we might have mentioned it last one. They're moving east. They have decided that they are going to have a presence in the east, and they're going to build it, and they're going to center it around Lime Rock.
And for those in Atlanta that were annoyed that they're not coming back to Road Atlanta, they are coming to Atlanta Motorsports Park, which obviously I love the history of Road Atlanta, but as a driver's track, AMP is a better track.
We should talk booths. We went for booths. We had a plan, and there were some booths that we were like, we need to go talk to these people. We need to go ask them blah, 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 or blah, 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 blah. Who wants to talk about destination booth that they visited?
I feel like this is all of you guys. I wanted to go see Grid Life, but this is all great stuff.
Keep going about brakes. I talked to everybody about brakes this weekend, basically. Let's start with Hawk. They have an ER1, which is
not E1R.
Very
Right.
well named brake pad
right.
that Mental talked about a bit before from SEMA that is exactly aimed at our market. We talked to one of the marketing managers for them about that, about how it difference. We told them about what great experiences we had with the SC43, which you guys all know. And that seemed definitely to be something they were very well aware of in making this, and they know exactly how their pad compares to this, and they feel pretty good about it. So there were some test pads offered to us. We are going to contact them and follow up on that and get those and test them and report back to you all about how it went. Let's see how it goes. We'll use the Mazda as our test mule because it hasn't changed at all, and it's pretty easy. So that's great. Excuse me. I also talked to someone at Willwood. Talked to a very experienced guy, an engineer there. His name is Mark. And I went to him basically looking to see if their product could solve a brakes getting hot problem on the Honda. And he basically did everything he could to say, don't buy my product yet. You need more data by doing these other things to learn if you need this. So fantastic. I mean, that is, and he's been doing racing brakes for years, like actual racing brakes with Brembo and Willwood and another one. And he said, no, these are the things you need to try next. See how this goes. Then you'll know the answer.
We were all stunned by not his intellect, but just that level of integrity.
Yeah. We, Chris and I were fresh off the pageant education session. So I think we walked in and it was like, okay, we're having this and this and this. And it was immediately like, oh, I know these people, Chris, not me, because I just stood there like an idiot. I know this guy knows what he's talking about because he immediately started talking about temperature and all those other things. So.
Yep. So we're going to do some of the things this guy said, and I'll talk about what he said again on our future More About Brakes show. And we're going to actually do a lot of these things and see how it works.
So Jaime, if you're listening, quit using your cheap brakes.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And more brakes. We were at Raybestos, which is actually now the same company as Stop Tech and a couple others, and ended up chatting with the lead product engineer for the racing brakes division. Just
yes,
we did. We were just standing. It wasn't even a Raybestos. Yeah. We were standing next to the set of brakes, but it wasn't. Yeah. It was a different branded place.
No, it was a multi-line thing that they have that Raybestos is part of.
Got it.
And they had big Raybestos signs, so it was a Raybestos booth.
Okay.
And the guy was just there, and I was standing near the pads. I was looking at the diagrams, and he just kind of casually walks over and says hello. And so I told him how much we liked his pads, and we got into a long conversation about it.
Oh, those ST43s, I made those.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We're like, they're the answer to our quiz question every week.
It's clear they are very proud of those, and they. Also, they had the same. This guy had the same impression that we did years ago of like Raybestos. Like, don't I put those on like my mom's car? Or you get those at Pep Boys, right?
Wagner
quiet stop, right? And he's like, yeah, we're really like trying to do something with that. That's hard to do. He said, but one thing, because now the Raybestos racing stuff is with Stop Tack and some other, whatever the other brands are that are there. They're basically those pad compounds that are so good are going to end up being called different things in other product lines, part of the same corporate umbrella, because they're so damn good. Like, it's like, let's not waste this. So they're going to try to spread.
I'd like to say that he was like, oh, you like the ST43s? We'll have you try the ST47s and the 49s and the 62s and the 40. I don't remember all the numbers. Chris
to wit, we were actually able to say, yes, on this giant, huge pig of a car, the 43s didn't cut it. He's like, oh, of course. Yeah. Yep.
So, but just to have that kind of just open access to chat with that guy who knows, he's forgotten more about this particular brake pad than I will ever know about brakes. So, and very open and willing to talk and knowledgeable. And that was nice.
Awesome. Chris talked to all the brake people and I talked to all the safety equipment people because I was talking to if you do belts and fire suits and helmets, I probably talked to you. And I just wanted to say that we did a stand up with Danello at G-Force Racing. They had a great booth. They talked to us a lot. And they have some majorly improved products, shoes, helmets, and gloves, and they are way undercutting the prices on the competition. The gloves were really nice and like way grippy. Like, I don't know what they had, and they were like silicone, like grippy things on the palm.
You made the joke where you kind of ran over and slapped
stuck
it on
to the wall.
But I swear that as soon as you did that, I'm like, I've seen those gloves. It was the Mission Impossible where they were trying to climb the Burj Khalifa. They probably used G-Force gloves for that scene, but yes. Yeah.
So they were external seams, extremely grippy. And then they had like shoes that had like way improved soles, like real soles. Here's the deal. They were priced like G-Force is usually priced. So like G-Force used to be like the safe but maybe not most comfortable option, or the safe but no bells and whistle option. But they are really, and Danilo said this, and we're going to put the thing up. It's on the YouTube. Find it. It's on all of our social media. But now they're going to be like all the options at the discount price. So they had a lot of very light helmets, carbon fiber. Chrissy, you saw the thing with the cheek pads, the adjustable cheek pads that you can use Velcro.
It's in my copy right below.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get there.
That's okay.
Anyway, it's on the YouTube. Check it out, Chrissy. Sorry, didn't mean to.
It's okay. No, well, that's fine. Chris and I were happen to be standing while you guys were talking and videoing. I happened to be standing off the side with Chris, and we were just kind of looking at a really cool helmet that was sliced in half professionally. And one of their people came over and said, "Hey, let me tell you about this." And they were showing us the new feature is this layered foam in the cheek pads that you can just take one of the layers out rather than if your face, rather doing a foamectomy, which we may or may not have done with some of the paddings in helmets before. This could just be easily removed, and it will. It's great for weird heads.
And it's shaped so that you can modify it without destroying it. Little Velcro thing. So check out that video that Chrissy made on there because that is customizable foam that previously you had to spend damn near $1,200 to get.
Or you used to get two different options.
Yeah, there'd be like cheek pad A, cheek pad B, Goldilocks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. If you watch Daniello holding my hand in the G-Force on the YouTubes, the next suggested video is Chrissy in the helmet. So just stick around for it. I set it up that way.
You can also see the pain in Daniello's eyes as he mimes the word "help me."
Daniello touched my heart when he held my hand. He was definitely looking a little sketched out, but anyway. I also checked out Simpson. They told me some story about selling the company, and there was no one in the booth who could really make marketing decisions or go on camera. I made a video. I didn't post it yet. It wasn't tremendously informative, but I did make a Bill Fisher joke. So maybe I'll post it. I don't know. I'll post it, right? It was good enough. I'll post it. I also checked out ATL Fuel. All of us checked out ATL fuel cells. But just like Chris was mentioning about future episode, that's going to be a future episode. So we're not going to talk about that much here other than we met a really great guy and he was like, "I'll be on your podcast." And I said, "Deal, brother."
We can always talk more about fuel cells.
Always.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'll tell you how bad a thing it was.
It's been a long time since we did a fuel cell episode. So
that's good.
We did the whole one of don't do this.
Right. Well, hey,
so let's do the other side.
We told the ATL guy that we talked about that and he said, maybe so. I mean, he's trying to sell stuff, but still. And I added this. What is the thing you bought finally?
So two years ago when I went to SEMA, there was this tool that turned metal wire into the greatest hose clamp ever. And it's called Clamp Tight. And I don't know if I'll put the link in it because I don't know if I can find that
even
video.
Pagel was impressed with that thing.
Yeah, he said he owned it. Yeah,
he had two different
He's got
ones.
like the super kit. He bought like the expensive one. Yeah,
I didn't buy the expensive one. I bought the middle one because I'm Goldilocks. But that was really awesome. Maybe I will do a video of me clamping a hose and I'll put it on YouTube.
Great.
Man, it doesn't get much more exciting than watching that episodes.
Oh, well, it's Jeff playing.
But again, someone's going to type in that and go, "This is totally not what I was looking for."
Yeah.
That is sick
Okay.
note?
Okay. Somebody say something before Chrissy does because I'm going to run upstairs and get the can.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
He's running.
So basically, Chrissy's
What's
going to
going
say
on?
something, and we're going to see how fast Jeff can run because it's about product evolution. And screw it, it's just funnier if Jeff is late. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Oh no, here he is. Oh, and I could have done it. I could have gotten ours just as
Totally
fast because I can look at it right there. So we're going to talk about fluid film. Fluid film. This is stuff that we've talked about on the show, how much we love it. It has saved our cars. I told people, I told the guys at the booth, this has saved my Mazda 3 from the scrapyard because it is that great. So as we're walking by, we said, Jeff asked what they were, what's new. And they said, we have a product in black now. And Jeff says, because I actually typed this as soon as we walked away, it's not worth it unless I'm getting rained on by amber goodness. Yes.
And they gave us the cutest little fluid film cans. I'm so excited. Everything that squeaks in my house is no longer going to squeak.
And they handed me one. And now, for those of you who don't know, because you don't live in frozen cold hell, fluid film is what Chris and Chrissy talk about every year. They put underneath their cars. It's an undercoating, but it doesn't have to be applied by a professional, and it is a rust inhibitor. It's basically an advanced concept of owning an MG, which is coating the underside of your car in oil will keep rust from attaching to it.
Except this doesn't leak from your engine. It's sprayed.
It's
and
much
it's
better.
lanolin, so it's like makes your skin feel pretty.
Smell like sheep.
Oh, and it does not smell like sheep. It smells like the worst for like a week. Every time you get in, you're like, I'm losing brain cells. It smells
if you've
so bad.
seen Chrissy's race car, it is a testament to this product.
Yes,
and
it
the
is.
fact that you'll say Chris owns
my-
the only 2 rust-free Suburbans in Pennsylvania.
Mine is so much more rust-free than Snowflake. Like Snowflake is getting rusty because it never had this and it lived in Nebraska for a couple of years. So that's the problem.
Yeah, and I think one time when I got under it to redo the spare tire lower, I spray painted underneath there just so I didn't have exposed metal. But this is, and I felt the woman tried to hand me a can, and you two went, he lives in Las Vegas. And she kind of looks at me and handed me the can anyway. And I promptly handed it to Chrissy. But that if you do live in these rust prone areas, and we make jokes about this because rust does suck. This is a great product. And
it's a great product.
And you need it. And if you don't think you need it,
I kind of like the smell.
You go look at the CNC garage.
Jeff, you've been huffing fluid film.
Seriously. Anything that Chrissy and Chris own is rust free. And it's because of this. Because he'll talk about,
they also hand wash it like every week.
But yeah, hey, what did you do this weekend? Oh, well, winter is coming. We got under and fluid filmed all the cars, and the in-laws came over and we fluid filmed all of their cars. And all of their cars are rust free.
Yeah.
It smells so bad.
It's bad. It's not good.
No, it makes my eyes burn.
It's not that bad.
It is.
Only lasts for a couple of days.
I know. But when it does, you just get in and you expected like an okay car, and then you're just like, oh my God, it's so bad.
Lanolin is some sort of animal-based fat, so.
Yeah, it's sheep.
Sheep. Is it sheep?
It smells like sheep.
It does smell like sheep. All right. Anything else? All right. But how about booths we didn't plan on seeing or things we didn't plan on seeing? What were the surprises?
I didn't expect to find anything that I particularly was excited to see at the DEI booth, but because I know they have heat reflective stuff, which like they make boots to go over the spark plug wires of LSs because those go right between the headers, and they have the tape, and I've used the tape and fine, but they had one product,
and the Tavarish tape.
Yep, this one product they have. It's like this bubbly aluminum metal that's easy to work with, very lightweight. It looks exactly like the heat shield material that's OEM under the entire exhaust of the Mazda. And I didn't know you could buy that, just aside from taking it off the cars of the junkyard. And I think we're going to use that for heat shields in the future instead of just a piece of sheet metal that I use because it's lighter weight and easier to work. So I'm
doesn't
down.
slice your hands up, and yeah, this is it's good stuff. I was actually looking at that as well. I don't have the same needs out here, but definitely heat shielding matters.
Heat shielding absolutely matters. So I was walking around and there was like, we mentioned this last time, but there aren't as many cars in booths as there are at SEMA, and the cars are more real in this one. So I was walking through and I saw a Rolex or whatever they call it, Ferrari, and it like still had all the race rubber on it. It was like clearly like straight out of the 24-hour Daytona or wherever. They didn't even wash it. Whatever was the last race of the series.
Glorious.
It was glorious. It was magic. I was like, I want to race this car. And I got really close. And I'm not even a Ferrari fan, just
It looked like a proper race car.
Yeah, that is the pinnacle of endurance racing, and we are endurance racers. So I was drawn to it like a moth, and I'm looking at the car, and a guy comes over and he's like, "Hey, I'm from blah, 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 blah." And I ended up engaging this person in conversation, and I learned, and I found some cool stuff. So I'm going to say it wrong because it's from Italy. Pekalo, Pakelo, Pekalo lubricants. I mentioned they're from Italy. And I immediately said, "So what do you do? Because I've never seen you, like big bright red. I've never seen your cans anywhere or anything." And he immediately started telling me how they are in all of the Rolex 24 or whatever the hell they call that series these days, in all of the transmissions, because they can lower the temperature of the transmission because their oil is better than anybody else's oil. And I'm like, great. I don't really need that. I am an endurance racer, but our transmissions really aren't the problem. I said, but what is our problem?
My transmission overheats.
There you go. So yeah, you could definitely, and they had like DSG stuff. So, if you got the Tiptronic in your Porsche, they were he immediately started telling me about all the different transmissions and transmission fluids. And I said, "Do you do brake fluid? Because that's what we overheat sometimes." And he said, "We have a fabulous brake fluid." And he started giving me the temperatures, and it was right at that 600 level that you expect that we get out of the Motul. We know Motul's hard to get. I had a good conversation with the guy, and he promised to send me some samples. So we're going to be testing that also. Yeah.
I remember you saying
the
brake fluid. I didn't realize transmission fluid, because I would think that would have, if you've got like a 76 Oldsmobile Omega with a turbo 350 that overheats the transmission.
Yeah, you need that. Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah, Corey, call me up. I'll give you the guy's number.
So the one I was interested or wasn't expecting, because we went by just to say hi. And this is one of our favorite things about Jeff. It's Jeff went to go to every booth, not to get free stuff, but to tell them how much we love their stuff.
Even if we don't use their stuff.
Well, no, but that was the thing is everybody's stuff that we do actually use. You walked up and said, "Hi, I'm Jeff. We use your product. We love it," which is how a lot of these conversations started. We went over the HP tuners, and that's obviously the engine management system that they're using in the Z. He's like, "Hey, we love your stuff. We totally put this in the 350Z that isn't running right now. That's not the point." And
it's running. It just can't drive anywhere.
He said, "So what do you got that's new?" And that whole swap in the engine, I wasn't there for that. I'm not smart enough to understand engine management systems, but this got my nerd up. And it was they've now got Bluetooth capability and remote capability. So if you're running an HP tuner, which if you're doing an LS swapped anything, this is the system you want to run. And they now have the ability to put it on your phone. It's iOS and Android compatible. You don't now need to carry around a legacy laptop with all your different tunes on there. You can simply do it from your phone without a cable, because they have Bluetooth capable tuners, which opens up an entire market. So in a fantasy world where Chris is struck upside the head and starts making bad decisions and sends me the 300Z, and then one day it doesn't want to run right, Chris on his phone can log in, get into the HP tuner at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and fix it from Philadelphia.
Well, we'd have to email you the file, because the Bluetooth only's got like 30 feet of range. So.
Well, but they have remote capabilities now.
Yeah, remote. It's definitely remote. If we had like the same internet, we could.
But that is just a fascinating capability. Is now you are going to find high-end engine tuners that can work from home. And they're going to be able to transfer and do this stuff. And then that also in and of itself encourages a community mentality of, hey, I was at Laguna Seca under these weather conditions. This tune worked really well for me. And then he distributes it to someone that's running High Plains Raceway, and they get that as their new baseline. They make a few things for altitude. It's an interesting concept from a social and sharing medium that is enabled by a company that makes hardware. I find that really cool. I didn't expect that.
Excellent.
Chrissy, what do you got that you didn't expect?
I don't have anything.
She expected everything, because nothing gets past Chrissy.
What, for booths?
Yeah. Just, did you see a booth or a thing that you didn't expect, or a car, or No pressure. If you didn't see anything, you didn't see anything. I'm okay with that. We can move on to your favorite category, random shit.
Yes. I was still, yes. Oh, I like the random shit, but I was still thinking like JD Squared. There was a couple things that we saw.
Oh,
like,
yeah, JD Squared.
Oh, we totally forgot about JD Squared.
Talk about that.
They're the bender are my favorite bending company that makes benders. We have a really, really old one. I had a great experience talking to them on the phone. They were very helpful in getting us some replacement parts, but they have really cool stuff that we don't need at all. But want. There are things that are very large and they would be great for somebody who actually has a shop. But there are a couple of different notcher. They had a notcher that was really cool that would be amazing for us, but we also don't need because we're fine with the crappy notcher that we have. So they were fun.
Yeah, that's
if you are looking to get into building your own cages, check them out. They I think it starts from the home hobbyist and goes up to like small shop level, because Pagel was telling us that he's got a lot of their higher end stuff.
He just bought something from there. That's what he was actually.
He took home something.
Yeah.
Like it was like I am traveling on the flight with enough metal that I can definitely kill somebody.
Like
but it's I think if and correct me as I go through this, but I think as much as possible they are American made. They source everything here in America, and they've got great customer service, and
they do have great customer service.
Just a strong corporate bond. So if you're getting into that, JD Squared is the way to go. Yeah, and they are American made, because that was why Pagel went away from Bali, because they started sourcing overseas.
Yes, we had that whole. That's when we had that whole conversation.
So yes, JD Squared. Yeah, that's the way to go.
They were good.
Alrighty then.
Yep, sure.
Now we can move on to random shit that we didn't expect, and it was like, oh my god, we're never going to talk about this stuff because it has nothing to do with what the hell we're talking about, and nobody cares.
The first one you got all excited about, and we were like, okay, well that's just Jeff, and then I got excited about it when you told me we saw the car.
Donk racing. I didn't post that video. I'm going to post that video right after. So when you hear this, the video will be up on our YouTube.
There's actually going to be a bunch of crap on our YouTube, because I've also got our live episode that we recorded in the Racing Junk booth. It's ready to go up. So check out our YouTube, because there's going to be cool shit.
So yeah, donk racing. The session was called Donk Racing. Find out why it's important. And I'm like, donks? I like donks. I'm going to this. I had no idea what kind of racing.
Just like everyone that went to Jeff's video went, this is not what I was looking for.
Yeah, this is totally not what I expected. They are drag racing donks, and they're doing it in the southeastern part of the country. Go ahead, Mental.
And if you don't know what a donk is, you've seen them. These are usually
who listening
American,
to this podcast does.
You are listening.
No, you're right. You're right. Go on.
80s cars that are sitting on at least 20-inch, if not 22, 24-inch wheels. 22
is the minimum, they said.
22 is the minimum.
24 is the standard.
Yeah, they sit up high, usually very highly customized. I don't want to say it's a bit cartoonish. The cars look cartoonish.
They're a bit cartoonish, yes.
But.
So anyway, donks, it is an urban thing. The youth of the southern part of the United States are doing this donk thing. First time I saw them was like near Atlanta. I don't know if they started in Atlanta, but that's kind of where they came from. So anyway, so all through the Southeast, they were racing their donks, like street racing, illegal street racing their donks. And there's this one guy who was like the donk master. That's his name. And he was beating everybody. So he was like, they were like, oh, you got to go to a drag strip and try some real drag racing. And he went to the drag strip and started beating all those people. And then he said, well, looky here, I can make this a thing. And he started the Donk Racing USA series. They are getting 5 to 7 to 10. One race got shut down at 15,000 people in attendance. The donks are getting real. They have race tire manufacturers who are making 24-inch frickin' slicks. That's tall,
series.
not
10
live.
Series.
Yeah, 10 series. They're like rubber frickin' bands. The cars look fantastic. They're absolutely silly. Donkmaster says it's straight up. There's no clock, but I've been clocked. Are you ready for this? In the 8:20s. 8 seconds, 20. Holy F. That is incredibly fast on 24-inch wheels.
Okay, and I've been drag racing, and right now Donnie is going, what? And
Yeah,
a handful of people that have been, BA Auto Repair down there in Phoenix are going, wait, what? 8.5 seconds?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
That's what Cletus runs
In the twin turbos.
in the twin turbo Corvettes. I mean, he's gotten into like 7.9, but 820s. That's like what these people are running in fucking drag week.
Yeah.
That's amazing. In an F and donk, they're putting cages in it. They're putting cash prizes. If donk racing is coming near you, go check it out. Effing awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Donk racing. Go on. Somebody else say something, or I'll just keep talking donks.
I'll stop you there.
Hurry, Chris, hurry.
in Jeff's marketing or state of the auto racing industry session that we all went to first, the thing that stood out to me that just to level set and paradigm shift you about what we do compared to racing in general. Road racing is 12% of the racing market. 12%. We are fully dominated by circle tracks and drag racing.
Yeah, which is,
I was surprised.
It's not a bad thing. So I think once I found that out, Jeff's showing the video is I started looking at a lot of what in road racing and circle tracking carries over to what we do, because it like the heat shield products and all that kind of stuff. Those are all fantastic ideas. So there's a lot on there.
All right. Who else is going to say something?
Free breakfast.
We again scammed free breakfast.
We didn't scam it this time. No, we showed up. We all got a seat. We were backwards to the stage, which is how we roll to this. We had a lovely group of people sitting at a table with us.
We had a Datsun road racer, an Arkansas engine builder. Who was the old guy next to me? I don't remember. Yeah,
I think he was some kind of circle track thing.
He was a circle tracker, but he had bought engines from the engine builder because they were talking about their car and did you get it in? Is it running? That kind of thing.
They were pleasant.
Their RV cost more than my house.
Probably.
We had eggs and hash browns and a very large pile of bacon and a lovely cup of fruit and pastries. And
they did not have hot sauce.
They did not. You were planning on stealing it anyway. I did bring Sriracha salt with me. Friends of the race team understand how important this is, but so that helped a little bit.
There's another good tip is carry Sriracha salt when you travel.
That's what I do. So it was great. And the intro was pretty good. It's a little long. We bailed. But anyway, it was all about the Indy Stadium. The 500.
Roger, if you guys don't know this, Roger Penske now owns
the Indianapolis Speedway.
Speedway.
Yeah, it was interesting for a little while.
He was much more progressive and forward thinking than I expected an 80-something-year-old guy who's been around racing forever to be.
Yeah.
Yep. It was good.
That surprised me.
And he was all about like, let's do what we need to do to make the Indianapolis Speedway a place where lots of people come. Like we shouldn't just do the Indy 500 here, which other past owners have been like, no, all we need is the Indy 500. So
give us a call. Give us a call, Roger. We know some people in Lemons. We'll get in.
I'll just go visit him because he lives like down the street. Well, he works down the street anyway from here.
And you'll probably show up. He'll go, holy crap. Chrissy,
didn't I see you? Didn't I see you?
Right? I was in the table like the way we were like right next to the door, but that's okay. It was good. We were happy to have free breakfast. That's always fun. They just did up. It's a good way to kick things off because it was really there's like lights everywhere, and it's just like it's a good time, and it's kind of like okay, I'm here, right?
No lie, I was more interested in what Roger Penske was saying than what Jay Leno was saying at SEMA.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I was also the product breakfast. We're just like, okay, we don't know what any of these things are or who these people are. So yeah, that was good. The media center, that's always fun. It's a kind of a special room that we get to go sit down and there wasn't a whole lot of people there, but we did talk to some people when we were there. Always coffee. But yes.
I have a question for actual media folk. Are there any actual media folk listening to the podcast? Steph Schrader, I don't know who else, not you, real media. We were at the media center and there's like 40 chairs, right? Like, right? There's like 40 places to sit.
They had 3 row tables with like about four chairs, and then they had some pub tables.
Yeah.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going with this.
So somebody had taped a business card in front of one of the chairs, like he's claiming the damn seat. There is way more than 40 people in the media at this place. Why is this dude claiming the seat? I effing sat in it, and I was going to rumble if he wanted it back.
But he did. He started pushing you out of the way. Or I don't know if it was that guy, but he was just like, no, I'm sorry, in my seat.
Someone in the real media tell me if I was the jerk or if he was the jerk. Okay, next, go on.
Okay. I went to a ladies' lunch. It was ladies in motorsports, and it was all kinds of motorsports. And that's also the place where we realized that road racing doesn't, people like when I said endurance race, and they're like, oh, that's what? So like, right, that's like normal to us. And then of course the people that do other types of racing, they're just like, well, I have an A modified. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I have this other modified. And I'm just like, this squeak to us. And we even understand a little bit of TQ language.
It's a car. Of course it's modified.
Right. But it's whatever, they're in this section of whatever kind of racing. So, but it was interesting. It was a, kind of a networking, group, and we, had some questions and went around the table and met some people and walked away with a couple, what do you call it? Business cards. And so, yeah, that was a fun thing to do. And I was provided lunch, and you guys went to a better taco place, but hey, that's okay.
We weren't allowed in. Ladies only lunch.
No, but you had a better lunch than I did. I had a better experience. You had a better lunch.
Yeah, we found the like
taco joint at the mall.
joint.
Right. I know. That's what I'm
like
saying.
Authentic place. Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I ate 3 pieces of roast beef off a sandwich. Anyway, we went to happy hour. So we were not mental. I'll say your part. We weren't going to go. But Pagel was like, oh, just try it. Like we were there. We were just finishing up the podcast on Thursday afternoon. By the time we packed up, they were turning out the lights, and we're like, okay, sure, we'll go. What are we going to lose? We knew that we were going to get dinner at home. We had a plan for home, but we figured, okay, we'll just go do it. And it was a big party. It was a lot of food. It was, a lot of people put it together.
We should mention it was at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah.
The place where the Colts play.
Right. And so it was really cool to
Camden Murphy
walk
drives
through
a
there.
monster truck. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, it was really cool to walk in there. They had a band. It was, lights and different stations and, free crappy beer, and you could buy other drinks, but we just drank free crappy beer, and we noted that it tastes like college. But yeah, and then we walked away. We walked away with
like
some
college.
some free cups. So it was not all lost. We had some mac and cheese. People had mac and cheese. I had some fries.
The food was good. You just had to wait a long line to get a little tiny plate.
Unless you knew where to go, and then you went to the right line, correct line.
Yeah.
If you went to the far one, you had no problem.
Same stunt with the beer. You had to know where to go to get the
you're
easy.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. We spent an hour there, and it was fine. Eat a couple
chips.
It was
a little too peoply for me. I was like,
well, we had a very nice table in the very far corner. Try not to talk to people. We had a mask on we had a mask on just about all the time, other than eating the actual chip. So, and just the chip came off for that. That was good too.
Just the chip.
Yes.
And we talked about it earlier. I understood the urban scourge of them. I saw them in Atlanta. They don't have them here in Vegas. They're kind of banned. But the bird and lime scooters were way more fun than they should.
Way
have
fun.
been.
So much fun.
And that includes sober and not sober. Cause like in the morning we were sober and we were still being goofy. And I remember I was doing my little weave through the sidewalk, and I hear Chrissy go, "Are you singing the song?"
Yeah.
Of course I'm singing the song. It was great. And those were, except for having to kick the birds for like a half mile, like manually. And those things weigh like 50 pounds.
A lot.
Because
It's a lot.
Yeah, it was. They've got dumb zones, and Chris is riding on his lime. So yeah, we're now lime people.
Absolutely.
We're lime people.
Yeah.
On that one, but that is, you can absolutely get seriously injured, and not just by being hit by another car. Those things, you dump them into a pothole or hit a curb or do something wrong.
Oh, how about the gravel, the lacking sidewalk that showed up?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the three of us, so Chris had gone home, I was driving, and I was like, gravel! And then I managed to not fall over, but fortunately everybody behind me
Whatever lawyers approve this business plan needs to go back to law school.
But at the same time, they are dumb fun. It was
Dumb
just
fun.
We laughed the whole time.
It really was.
Do it.
convenient.
Be sober. Be careful.
It's convenient. Like you just pick it up, go. Like it's so easy to use.
Scan
and
the app.
It goes 15 miles an hour. It's way better than walking.
Again, this is why Lime is better, because Jeff literally had to sign our lives away to just he had to scroll down to the I accept the liability, because when your dumbass falls on the street, you aren't going to sue Bird every time you tried to get a scooter.
You only have to do it the first time with Lime. It was pretty easy.
Well, I was also doing more than one, so it was making me sign for whoever the other people were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
Nope.
but I even got to take the Lime Solo back to the liquor store, just fun.
All right.
We had a good time.
Last things to say about PRI. I know we're probably going to be covering things later, like that we learned at PRI, like the brake show and the fuel cell show.
It was a good time.
We're deep into this. I could see us going back. I would love to go back.
Yeah. Better use of our time than SEMA, though not as much of a spectacle.
And I'll go back to SEMA because I don't have to travel that far.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I'm going to travel for one of them, it's going to be PRI.
More beneficial to our audience.
Yeah.
Very much so. Okay.
And now it's time for our favorite part of the show.
Except we're not going to sing it because she's not giving it. This one's just going to be just the tip.
I don't know where we're going. I'm like, is there a sexual reference?
No.
Like, how are we going to get it back to? Never mind. Chris has it just the tip.
I'm going to save this. We were talking with an iBox Springs representative and about springs, and we were joking with him. Oh, I'm sure that the 270,000 mile Pro Kit on the Mazda is really working all that well. He's like, they don't really wear out. They should be fine. And then we said, there's only a little rust on them. He went,
Rust?
Seriously. He's like,
Rust?
We're like, come on. We're like, there's a rust on the car. Come on.
He's like, no. He's like, oh, no, rust. He's like, that's the only thing that will kill them. You have to be really careful. He said, because here's what we do as a paint process. It's like, well, we do a primer and then a paint coat and then a clear coat and then a powder coat and then 2 more coats of primer and then 2 more coats of paint. He kept going on. There's seriously about 10 coats on these springs. Not kidding. And he said, if it gets under that, that's actually going to weaken the metal and change the spring rate and make it break. He's like, every one we get back for warranty is rusty. And that's what the people try to warranty. And that's, where it wore out. So like we do everything we can to try to make it rust, but eventually it's going to happen. If you live anywhere that it rusts, it's like, but that's what kills springs. So if you see any rust on your springs, you might want to consider replacing those. Like I did not back in the Wagovan day when we had the coilovers that had been on the car for 10 years in the New England salt and were rusty AF. And guess what? Tapping 2 races in. Clang.
It broke.
Yep.
Yeah. He did say if it starts to rust, if you can immediately treat it and immediately paint it, it would be okay. He immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is not we walked away realizing he was serious because we came in with kind of a joke and like, oh, of course you're not going to want us to joke your product is wearing away and we're still using it. But then we were like, oh, okay. Yeah, we believe you.
He just doesn't want us to die.
Yeah. Especially for one of their products, but which I love. So that was on the Mazda forever and ever.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Great safety tip.
Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Does anyone have a clue what we're doing next week?
Yes, we do. You know him and you love him and you fear him. The tech boss for the 24 Hours of Lemons, John Pagel, is going to join us for a discussion of what you can do to make your car safer in the off season, because don't just let it sit there. Make it safer. John's going to tell us how.
Awesome. And maybe we'll get them to talk about like the hot tub and things like that.
His dick axe.
His dick axe and his multiple houses that he's building. But anyway, thank you for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the doodly-doo, talk to us down there.
Or smash it, as you kids say.
Smash, yes. Smash, hit the bell, all that stuff. If you have any questions or drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text Mental 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram or
Send me
Twitter.
your junk pics.
That's right. At everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook, even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again until next week. Keep the shiny side up. Unless you have rusty springs, then just keep those wheels down.
Junk pics. Still fun.